Citation Notes. MLA is a system for documenting sources in scholarly writing. For over half a century, it has been widely adopted for classroom instruction and used worldwide by scholars, journal publishers, and academic and commercial presses. There is a homepage for MLA style that you are encouraged to visit. When do you need to cite a source? To avoid plagiarism, that is, claiming someone else's work as your own. You are required to cite your sources in your college papers. Whenever you quote, summarize, paraphrase, or use data and images in your paper, you are supposed to cite them. Quotes. There are direct quotes and there are indirect quotes. Direct quotes are the exact words taken from an author or a speaker. The example, according to Thomas Edison, genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration, as indicated by the quotation marks. Indirect quotes are not enclosed in quotation marks, but report someone else's ideas without using that person's exact words. The example is, according to their statement to the local papers, the Allens refuse to use pesticide because of potential water pollution. Summary. Summaries condense information from a source. Our example shows that an entire chapter from Power of Habit has been condensed into 4 paragraphs. So essentially, you're taking the main points from a source and putting them in shorter form. Paraphrase. A paraphrase repeats the information in virtually the same length as the original text. The example shows the original quote, which visually looks about the same length as the effective paraphrase, but you'll see that the paraphrase only takes out the essential phrases and vocabulary from the original quote and puts it in the author's or the writer's own words. What is the difference between in-text citation and works cited? Well, in-text citations appear in the body of the research. The example is, human beings have been described as symbols using animals. At the end of that sentence, you have in parentheses the author's last name and the page number that quote is found on in the book. Please note that at the end of that sentence is the period. The in-text citation goes inside of that period. The works cited, those are separate from the research paper at the very end on a separate page. And an example of one of the listings on the works cited page is below in the gray. In-text citations. This means that the author's last name and the page number or numbers from which the quotation or paraphrase is taken must appear in the text, and a complete reference should appear on your works cited page. The author's name may appear in the sentence itself or in parentheses following the quotation or phrase, but the page number or numbers should always appear in parentheses, not in the text of your sentence. There are 3 examples below. Number 1, Wordsworth stated that romantic poetry was marked by a spontaneous overflow of powerful feelings. You'll see Wordsworth, the author's name, is included in the signal phrase. At the end of the sentence, you see in parentheses the page number. That's one option. The example number 2, romantic poetry is characterized by the spontaneous overflow of powerful feelings. Wordsworth is not in the sentence in a signal phrase, so therefore we put it in parentheses at the end of the sentence with the page number. In our example number 3, Wordsworth extensively explored the role of emotion in the creative process. Wordsworth is part of the sentence. This is an indirect quote, and the page number for that indirect quote is included at the end of the sentence in parentheses. Notice the period goes at the end of the sentence. The parenthetical citation goes along with the sentence. All right. Let's look at works cited. There's some basic rules that you want to remember for your works cited page. A. Begin your works cited page on a separate page at the end of your research paper. It should have the same 1-inch margins and last name, page number, header as the rest of your paper. B. Label the page works cited. Do not underline the words works cited or put them in quotation marks, and center the words works cited at the top of the page. C. Double space all of your citations, but do not skip spaces between entries. D. Indent the second and subsequent lines of citations 5 spaces so that you create a hanging indentation. E. List page numbers of sources efficiently when needed. If you refer to a journal article that appeared on pages 225 through 250, list the page numbers on your works cited page as 225-50. And F. If you're citing an article or a publication that was originally issued in print form, but that you retrieved from an online database, you should provide enough information so that the reader can locate the article either in its original print form or retrieve it from the online database. That's if you have access. Here's a sample of a works cited page. Notice at the top it says works cited and it's centered. Notice that the entries are in alphabetical order, that they're hanging tags, meaning that the second or third lines are indented, that there are no bullets, there are no numbers, no number 1, no number 2. Okay, so follow those guidelines. There are resources and links that can help you create your citations. EasyBib, NightCite, BibMe, Citation Machine. I have also provided you with the links to your library's website that has a citation page. So remember that you want to cite sources that have been quoted, that you're paraphrasing, or that you're summarizing. These are the times in your research that you want to cite your source. Remember that the sources that you cite in your research paper, in indirect quotes or direct quotes, are the sources that you're going to create and put in your works cited page. I hope that this helps.